Hi, my name is Izhar, and I'm going to talk about DDoS attack and what it is. DDoS actually stands for Distributed Denial of Service, and what this is actually basically a cyber attack on a specific server or network with the purpose of disrupting the normal operations. A DDoS attack does this by flooding the targeted network or server with a constant flood of traffic, such as fraudulent requests, which overwhelms the system, causing a disruption in their normal operations and the denial of service to legitimate traffic. So, for example, we have a web server, and let's just say that this web server could belong to a company that sells their products over the internet. And over here, we have a couple of customers on computers with their computers that are browsing the company's website, looking at the company's products or services. Now, let's just say that someone just wanted to do an attack on this company's web server. And let's just say that they are going to attack the server for whatever reasons they have. Maybe they don't like the company, or they don't like the owners of the company, or whatever. So, what happens in this case is that the attacker is going to use their computer and their program to attack this server and flood it with fraudulent data to try and disrupt its service. Now, do remember this, that this is not a DDoS attack. This is just called a DOS attack, which stands for denial of service, because a DOS attack is an attack that's just coming from one source. So normally a network or a server is able to handle an attack from a single source because it's easier to pinpoint. The server can just simply close the connection where the attack is coming from. So that's not that big of a problem. However, the problem arises if an attack comes from multiple sources simultaneously. And this is what a DDoS is. A DDoS is an attack from multiple sources all at once. The computer over here is the ringleader, can communicate with other computers around the world, and they can also easily coordinate an attack on the server. So now, instead of an attack coming from a single source, the server now has to deal with an attack from multiple sources, and when this happens, it will overwhelm the probably overwhelm the server. It will eat up the server system resources, the CPU and the memory, and it will also eat up the network bandwidth. So as a result, these legitimate computers over here, they are going to be denied of service because the server is too preoccupied in dealing with a DDoS attack. So the web pages that these computers wants to access are either not going to load. They are going to be very slow in loading, and they will get that familiar spinning wheel of lag that we get. The question arises: how does the attacker get other computers to get involved in a DDoS attack? And the simplest answer is that by using a malicious software. The attacker will develop a malware program, and it will distribute it all over the internet and put it on things like the website or email attachments. So if a vulnerable computer goes to these infected websites or open these email attachments, the malware will be installed on their computers, and without their owner even knowing that their computer has been infected and is being used and recruited in an army of infected computers. And this army of infected computers, as you could see, is what we call a botnet. Now, this botnet is not just limited to a few computers, it could be thousands and thousands of computers, or even hundreds, that are scattered all around the world, and the exact location can't be pinpointed out. So this botnet can now be controlled like an army waiting to receive instructions from the attacker, who is now like a centralized command and a control center for the botnet. Uh, in that case, the attacker can send out commands to all these computers and can tell them to attack on a certain date and a certain time. And once the attack begins, once the time limit is reached and the attack begins, you could see that the web server will be down. A DDoS attack can last for hours or even days. It just depends upon the attacker's intent. So another question that one might ask is, why do people do DDoS attacks? And it could be for several different reasons. For example, it could be for financial reasons, and the attacker is DDoSing a competitor in the marketplace. It could also be for political reasons, which you know that it happens nowadays. Maybe the attacker doesn't like the political organization's beliefs, or maybe it could be just for fun. I hope you enjoyed this video.